Hey guys, today we're going to do part 1, outdoors, for our found material weaving unit. I'm Miss Robinson and welcome to Fibers with Miss Robinson. I want to introduce you to two artists who use both weaving and natural materials in their art. This is Kelsey Holtaway. She does weaving in trees. She takes branches and wraps it with material, can be string or floss, and then weaves natural things such as leaves and grass through her art. Our second artist is Patrick Doherty. He was born in Oklahoma but was raised in North Carolina, and now he and his son Sam create these structures. You can see that the materials they're using are branches and twigs. You can usually visit these structures as they're open to the public, and there's more than 300 works that he's created all over the world. In order to do these weavings, you need 3 parts. If we were weaving in the classroom, we would have these looms, so you're going to need a loom. You're also going to need the strings that are the white strings on this picture called the warp thread. And last, you'll need weft. First, let's start with looms. Looms are simply to hold your warp in place. They can come as a tabletop loom, as one that you sit with, or as a frame, something that looks just like a picture frame. You can even make your own loom out of sticks, or out of cardboard and rubber bands. Today I'm going to show you how to use a piece of wood, a rock, or a stick to be your loom. Now for the warp. The warp is what is attached to your loom. It holds the tension or holds it tight while you weave. You could use chain link fence for this. You could even use an old cage, without the animal of course. Railing on the porch. Playhouse frames. Crates. Or even an old bed railing or a flower trellis. Now for the weft. You have to have something to go over and under, back and forth. Usually it's yarn that we use to go back and forth and over and under those warp threads. But for outside and found materials, we can use things like twine or a vine. There's also muscadine vine cuttings or even a phone cord. Leaves from plants like irises or daffodils. There's lots of options, but whatever you choose, you need to set up properly. Grab your materials and let's go. First, I'm going to show you how to wrap a piece of wood. I'm just taking some twine and I'm wrapping around the piece of wood to set up for weaving. These will be my warp threads. I didn't want my knots to show, so I just hid them on the back. And this is what it looks like. If you want to set up a stick, I looked for one that had a Y, and I'm using the phone cord that I found to wrap the stick back and forth. I'm just going around the outside, trying to spread those warp threads out. And you can see that when I get to the bottom, I actually come right back up. And I'm securing it just by tying it at the top and then tying it again wherever the end ends up. I try to tie it on the back. So now that my stick's set up, I'm ready to weave. I've got my warp thread. I need my weft. For this, I chose to use the daffodil leaves and some of the stems from the flower that had already been cut off. And so I just wove them over and under each piece. Now, the thing to be really careful about is where you start. If your last one was over, your next one needs to be under. And so I just went over and under each one of those vines and try to pay careful attention to where I had ended the last one. So if it was over, I would start under. If it was under, I would start over. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're really just making sure that if you do all of them over and under at the same time, you're not going to have a tight weave. By doing the opposite, you're going to get them nice and snug in there and they won't come out. And then I chose some flowers at the very end to stick into my work. I attached it with some grapevine onto my railing, and now I get to enjoy that as part of my decor coming into my house. So while I was looking around the house for places that could be woven, I saw that the boys' playhouse looked like a really good warp. We went on a nature hike, and my boys and I went to find some soft, bendable branches. We used those branches to weave through the slats of the playhouse, in and out, and you can see them inside helping me. We would weave a few and then kind of shove it down because we wanted a tight weave. By the end of the day, we had found some grapevine, some old grapevine, and they were the perfect thing to finish off our weaving. We still have a little bit more to go, but we hope you enjoy our new fort that is set up for the boys to play in. We're ready to see what you're going to weave. I can't wait to see pictures. I hope you'll share. Happy weaving!